Hello, welcome to Encore. Coming up, a roundup of some of the most exciting films for summer 2015.
We've never met before, right?
Ted, do you believe you have a soul?
What did you think I would do at this moment?
If you tame me, we shall need each other. To me, you will be unique in all the world. What is essential is invisible to me.
Thanks for joining us. Sunshine, it's overrated. Why waste your summer basking in the sun when you could be huddling in a darkened cinema soaking up some film? Someone who'll be doing just that is our film critic Lisa Nesselson and me too, the Teddy. Welcome both to the studio. Now, Lisa, we've asked you to pick the blockbuster of the summer. An impossible mission, surely.
You're leading the witness. Picking the best of something is always kind of tricky. For example, when people talk about the greatest piece of music ever composed, they often nominate Beethoven's Ode to Joy. But I have another candidate. Do 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 do. I think Lalo Schifrin's brilliant theme song to Mission Impossible never grows old, and neither does this series of films. I'm a sucker for proof that analog artifacts are really important in the spy business. We have the Impossible Missions Force, which is also difficult to pronounce, and of course with Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, and the CIA wants to dissolve them. They think they've outlived their usefulness, created more trouble than they're worth. And in this film, when he gets his next mission, it's on, of all things, an LP, a vinyl record. When they need to contact headquarters, what do they use? Not satellite telephones, a telephone box, a payphone on the streets of London. I love stuff like that. And that contrasts nicely with a lot of the gizmos, especially a contact lens that's overlaid over your eye, which lets somebody else see what you're seeing. Anyway, let's take a look.
Benji.
Ethan, where are you?
The Syndicate is real. A rogue nation trained to do what we do.
An anti-IMF.
Ready or not, here I come.
They're coming after us with everything they've got.
You ready?
Gonna find you.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
So what's the play?
Gonna find you.
You want to bring down the Syndicate? It's impossible.
It looks very exciting. It's the fifth Mission Impossible, and one review I read said this franchise is getting better and better. Is that true?
Well, this is a very intelligent script, I have to say. I couldn't tell who was a bad guy or a good guy for a great deal of it. And the stunt work is just so impressive. Tom Cruise, it's known, doesn't like green screen computer effects. And when he's hanging onto the side of an airplane, you believe he really is because you can see the part in his hair and his cheeks kind of going like this. And he's reciting dialogue at the same time. He's a consummate entertainer. He knows what he's good at, and boy, is he good at playing this part.
Okay, so that's the blockbuster of the summer. One film to see with your kids this summer.
Oh, well, you know, people always say this is for children, and it's certainly absolutely suitable for children, but I'm a card-carrying grown-up, and I loved every minute of it. This is the film adaptation of The Little Prince, animated in two different styles of animation, computer-generated and stop-motion. And they found a way to put the beloved Antoine de Saint-Exupéry story into the middle of a contemporary story about a young girl, a single mom, who is so ambitious for her daughter, and every minute is accounted for. And then she has a sort of eccentric, well, very eccentric neighbor next door who introduces her to, well, just about all sorts of serendipitous things. Let's take a look.
There was a little prince who lived on a planet that was scarcely bigger than himself.
I thought I'd never find anyone who wanted to hear my story.
If you please, draw me a sheep. What was a kid doing there in the desert? There was no mention of life on any other planets.
An asteroid B612.
You are the avalanche.
Wow.
And the little prince,
One world away.
he was very fond of sunsets.
I'll make believe in.
Such beautiful pictures. Now, The Little Prince is the most sold French book of all time. It was published in 1943 and has been translated into around 250 languages. I spoke to the director, Mark Osborne, at the Cannes Film Festival, and I asked him to explain the popularity of the story.
I think the story is so popular and so well known because of the fact that it talks about what makes us human. It's really connected to very, very important big ideas that we all relate to, we all deal with. It talks about love and friendship and dealing with loss, and I think it just taps into what it means to be a human being.
Mark Osborne talking to me at the Cannes Film Festival. Now, The Little Prince is a national treasure here in France. Do you think the French are going to like this?
I certainly hope so. Unless they're allergic to superb animation, I don't see why they wouldn't like it. Interestingly, this film was financed entirely by French people, and a lot of the animation was done by French animators. As you saw, the director is American, and I think they've combined the best of both worlds with an absolutely timeless story. I loved it.
Okay. What's the comedy of the summer, then?
Oh, what makes you ask? Well, some people think that this would not be suitable for children. If I ruled the world, I think I would make it obligatory for people from the earliest age to see the Ted movies. So we had Ted, the unlikely story of a stuffed bear who comes to life during a thunderstorm and grows up to be the best friend of Mark Wahlberg. And what's interesting is, I guess he's not a role model because he swears a lot and
he's awful.
And he likes taking tokes off a bong to relax. He's incredibly profane. He says inappropriate things every chance he gets. And yet, this movie has every genre in it possible, and it's really about things. It starts out as a musical comedy, it's a romance, it's a legal thriller, it's about civil rights and the pursuit of happiness, just like the founding documents of the United States of America. Ted actually works in a grocery store. He has married his human sweetheart, but a year into the marriage, they're on the brink of divorce. Someone suggests that the cure for that is have a baby.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody knows that will solve any relationship problem. But in the process of trying to adopt, Ted finds out that he is actually not considered a human. He is considered a piece of property. Let's take a look.
Oh my God, Teddy, look at this. It says if we want to have a baby, you're going to have to prove you're a person in a court of law.
This is a nightmare.
We gotta fight it. We'll get a lawyer and we'll sue the government for your civil rights.
I'm Samantha Jackson. You must be Ted.
Yeah, Samantha Jackson. What's your middle name?
Leslie.
Oh my God, you're Sam L. Jackson.
That's great. I mean, just like Sam L. Jackson.
Who is that?
You ever seen any movie ever? He's the black guy.
I mean, I can't help smiling, even though I did find the first film to have lots of lazy vulgarity. There's a personal thing. I seem to be the only person who didn't like it because it was a massive success. The second one is just as worth seeing, I guess.
Oh, for me, it's as good or better. They know that you have to sort of top yourself in a sequel to make it worthwhile. And actually, my cuddly associate, Me Too, he wanted to talk about the movie and how it gets to the heart of contemporary teddy bear issues, but he picked up so much bad language from watching the movie that I think it's better that we just not give him the floor.
Is he thinking of having children soon? Okay, there are many to choose from, but give us the film festival of the summer here in France.
Well, one of the great things about summer in Paris is that the city underwrites outdoor screenings of excellent curated films. They just don't throw anything up there. They show you really good ones. So first, there is Au clair de lune, Au clair de lune, yes, by moonlight, which is sponsored by the Forum des Images, and they're showing a different movie in a different district each night, which means the movies come to you. You don't have to go to the movies. And fabulous films, Frantic, Nanuchka, La Vie en Rose, What's New, Pussycat. And then starting, it's going on now and through almost the end of the summer, August 23rd at La Villette. And this is their 25th year, enormous inflatable screen, thousands of people outdoors. On Fridays, they're having audio description for people who have visual problems, who don't see very well. The theme this year is home, and their concept of home is really very, very broad. I can't recommend enough the underseen Louise Wimmer about a homeless woman who lives in her car. There is, of course, Woody Allen's Sleeper, Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge, Michel Haneke's Hidden, Caché, Heavy Going, Billy Wilder's The Apartment, and something that I really, really like, which is Kubrick's The Shining.
Okay, well, can you remember the first time you saw that?
Vividly. I saw it in a movie theater here in Paris with my husband. we were terrified. We were afraid to leave and go home. And then we started reading the American reviews, and they said, oh, it's not scary. It's not as scary as the book. And we thought, what? And it wasn't until years later we realized that the version they showed in Europe was, in fact, different than the one they showed in North America, and a lot scarier. So I was right to be scared.
Okay, well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to leave you with the iconic movie The Shining that's showing during the festival Cinéma en plein air at La Villette in Paris. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
For some people, solitude and isolation can of itself become a problem.